Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I am a Whitney and today I am here to talk you through how to economically and financially responsibly shop sales, whether that be fabric sales or pattern sales. Actually, because I was just recently shopping, the Minerva has their big craft club, if you're a craft club member, which if you're not, you should do that. It's only 20 pounds for the year and you get 10% off everything throughout the entire year, which really helps with the difference between the dollar and the British pound. And they have free shipping over, if you buy anything over, I think it's 50 pounds, it's free shipping internationally. So it's really kind of a great deal. But they also, one of the perks of being a craft club member is that maybe 3 times a year, they do big craft club member days and or weekends. So the last one was in January, because that was when I had COVID actually, and I happened to be shut up in my room and they had it and I was like, ooh! And you know, something to help with, you know, being stuck in your room for 5 days or however long I was stuck in there. But and so that was in January. I shopped that, got some great deals, and then they just had one the last weekend in July, which was very exciting, and that one was 2 days. I feel like the one in January was only one, but it may have been a Saturday, Sunday. I had COVID, so who knows? Everything's fuzzy from that time period. But in July, that was just, you know, the other weekend, it was 2 days. It was Saturday and Sunday. So I shopped the sale, and as I was shopping it and trying to keep myself reined in a little bit, I totally had this idea for this video to talk about, because this is something that I've noticed I've improved greatly on. And then I started thinking what a fun series that would be just the whole month of September. So in the month of September, which happens to be National Sewing Month, I thought a great way to pay homage to the hobby of sewing, I'm about to say the habit, the habit of sewing, the hobby of sewing, is how to do it, especially in the financial state that the world's in right now, how to do this wonderful hobby as economically as possible so that it actually ends up being something that in the long run saves you money. I've said this before. Can I go out to Target and buy a t-shirt for less than what I make it? Yes. Yes, I can. But do the t-shirts I make get holes in them after I've washed them 2 or 3 times? Nope, no they do not. Am I able to keep my t-shirts season after season and launder them and they held up really, really well and they fit me perfectly? Yes, I do. So it's all about how you look at, you know, economies and how, you know, what it really means to save money on certain things. So the whole month of September, we're going to be going through organization, you know, how organizing your sewing room and your pattern stash helps you save money. How, you know, I mean, obviously I'm talking about shopping sales today. I won't be doing that again next month, but we're going to be talking about using your patterns in your stash and hacking those so that you can get the most bang for your buck out of certain patterns. You know, we'll be doing some sew the look type of things, you know, how to get the look for less type of stuff, all that kind of content. It's all going to be in September, so I'm very excited about that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to both plan and film, as well as hopefully for you to view once it's here. Okay, so I will say a little caveat before we get started. A lot of this has to do with being organized, and I know there's gonna be some of you that are like, no, this is my creative outlet. I don't wanna have to, you know, be organized. And you don't have to be, I'm not talking like Container Store, everything has the correct spot type of organization. I'm just talking some basic organization. Everyone needs a little bit of basic organization so that you aren't reinventing the wheel every single time. So that you can easily find things, and so you're not double purchasing things or buying stuff that you don't need, all that kind of stuff. So that is that. I'm just gonna put that out there, and some of you I may have to drag kicking and screaming. But I have some great tools for you that I'm holding here in my hand. Some great tools, free tools for you to use to help you get organized. Okay, so one of the things that I've banged on and on about, and I apologize, but I'm gonna bang on about it a little bit more because I'm gonna be referencing it. And there are some new people to the channel. The channel's actually had a big boom here recently, so welcome all the new people. Having your colors done. Now, do you have to go out and spend actually it's not as expensive as you might think. And I do have a coupon, a 10% off coupon for Color Guru. But no, you don't have to spend to go. If you don't want to get your colors done, that's fine. But I highly encourage everyone to have some sort of a color palette that they're working off. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 35 colors here. So this isn't something that's gonna get boring because because you've got a ton of colors. I mean, they're all the colors of the rainbow, they're just different shades, which is why I'm a big proponent of saving up, getting your colors done, because it really is going to save you money in the long run, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. But I do have you can use Tomcat color at the Color Guru for 10% off if that's something that you're, wanting to get done professionally. But their color cards are fantastic. So I am a Copper Spring. I always say coppery. Copper Spring. These are my 35 colors that look best on me. She also has on the back of here your best neutrals, which mine are Olive or Army Green. She calls it Army Green. Army Green, Camel, and Ivory. I also have kind of I say navy, but really it's a dark blue that looks best on me. So a real warm blue, dark blue. But having these done, it's just going to make shopping so much easier, especially if you're tempted by certain prints, if that's something that grabs you. It just really helps to be able to say, okay, well, those aren't my colors, but, look at this one. These are my colors, so this might be something that's worth it to grab. So having colors done is a really big help, especially when it comes to sale shopping. The other thing is being organized. Okay guys, I have, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about this, I have a printable for you, and it is the Handmade Wardrobe Basics Checklist. Is that the title page of it? And I have a whole video, and I'll pop it up here if you want to hear all about it. But basically, if you go sign up for my newsletter, which you're really going to want to do, and I'll talk more about that here in a little bit, but you get this for free. So the printable where you can fill in, and it comes, I mean, it doesn't have my palette colors in here. It's got your empty spots, so you can put your own colors in there, but a whole printable for your wardrobe basics. So what the wardrobe basics idea kind of is that once I have these, and they're all solids, all of these are solid items that are in my wardrobe, but when I am planning out my my summer, spring, fall, winter wardrobes, I am pulling things from my closet that are on this basics list, depending on the type of year and the weather, and then I'm just adding in some fun, trendy prints, not all the time, but a lot of times prints will be included in that, but things that are going to be specific maybe for that season, not that I won't wear it multiple, years, but something new that just kind of refreshes things. So number one, I'm sewing a lot less for that, fall, because we're going into fall, that fall capsule wardrobe. And then I've got a basis that then things can all mix and match, because theoretically, and it really does work, if I'm making things from my color card, all these colors go together. They're all in the same, tone, warmth, kind of hue. So all of these, even with color blocking, all of these go together. I have a very cohesive closet when I am pulling things from my own color palette. Again, if you don't want to have your colors done, if you don't believe in that, that's absolutely fine, but I would encourage you to get some sort of color palette for yourself, even if you're going out and kind of putting your own stuff together. Anyway, so basic checklist, you can get that from the website, and then this is my summer one. You can't get this one anymore, but I will be having a fall one come out in September, the beginning of September, and this is just specifically, I just list the things that I use the Everyday Style, their capsule wardrobes as kind of a framework for my own. They don't follow them exactly, but these are the colors I used for the summer and things that I'm pulling from my own wardrobe versus maybe a couple of things that I want to make. So that will be coming out for the fall. It just helps to be a little bit more organized, and then that's how I organize my closet as well, so I can find things. So I have a little section of my closet that is that's current season's capsule wardrobe. I have a few things that are in there as well. I have a guest room closet that's upstairs that everything that I'm not currently wearing gets moved upstairs, whether that be I can't fit into it or just things that are off season for right now. That way I can easily find everything. Cohesive closet, everything is wonderful. Okay, so shopping sales. There are a couple of things that I think about when I'm getting ready to shop a sale and to try and keep my head a little bit, because I am 100% that person that's like, oh, let's look at all the things. I may miss something. You know, I want to take advantage of this. Keeping in mind, there are always going to be sales. And if you blow your entire fabric budget in one fell swoop, then you're just done for the year. So my advice is to go into sales with a plan, and we'll talk about my plan here in a second. So then you have some money left over. So if you're, you know, looking through, you know, Style Maker sends me out an email and I'm like, oh my gosh, that print is all in my colors. I absolutely love that. I can then buy that because I've got some money set aside for those type of things. But shopping the sales with a plan, you're gonna be able to get your quality basics that are just gonna help make everything work together. So in the long run, you're saving money. Also, these are things that you're gonna need anyway, so you're actually saving money on the good stuff that you're gonna need. One of the things that Jennifer McMurray says on her podcast, which is the Everyday Style School, I highly recommend you listen to that if you haven't already. It's such a good podcast. But she talks a lot about not, you know, having a few days of planned shopping a season. So that you're not just, you know, every time you go to Target, you walk through the clothing section and you pick up a few things here or there, and then nothing goes together when you get it at home. I'd say the same is similar for fabric shopping. So if you're buying, you know, here's a sale, I'm gonna take advantage, I'm gonna buy, you know, a lot of stuff for my basics, even if it's off season, stuff that I know I'm gonna be making, go ahead and buy it then. That way, everything is kind of cohesive and kind of goes together throughout the year. And again, when you see occasionally those things that are the beautiful print that you really want to grab, you can do that. Okay. So, the wardrobe basics checklist. So this is for the handmade wardrobe. And I'll just briefly go over this because like I said, I do have that whole video where I go through all of this stuff, but I have picked out three of my favorite neutrals. I actually don't have olive green on here because I do wear olive green, but typically my dark blue is more what I'm drawn to. I have aqua eyes, but I feel like the dark blue helps bring out the blue in my eyes. It makes my eyes look more blue. They look very blue today. Anyway, so these are, I have picked three neutrals that I just really love, and then my statement color. And this is like a warm red, but it can go more brick red sometimes or more orange, like a dark orange as well. So, same with my camel. My camel brown can go more from like a mustardy brown color to even like a rusty brown color. So I do have some leeway here with my neutrals, but these are kind of the basics that I'm using for all of my solid pieces. And I have my whole thing that I printed out here that lists, you know, my knit tees and what I'm still missing in my closet versus what I've already got. And the idea is, as I, you know, eventually I will fill all of these basics, and then it's just a matter of, okay, my red solid t-shirt has worn out, I need to replace it, and then I'll just make a note of that. So, you know, next time I'm, you know, making an order, I know I need some more red knit jersey or whatever. That way I can, you know, keep things up, one thing out, one thing in type of thing with the closet. So what I did for this fabric haul, so that I'm not getting too chatty here, you guys know I can get, is the first thing I thought of was, are there any projects that I have coming up that I'm gonna need fabric, like a specialty type of fabric for, that might not be in my stash? I have a very sizable stash. We will look at how I organize it in September, but the answer to that question was yes, I did. So I grabbed, I have a couple of projects that are coming up for between now and the end of the year that I'm aware of that are gonna need some specialty fabric. So I grabbed some teddy bear fleece and this beautiful kind of aqua color. Again, shopping off of my color card. So I grabbed this color right here, right there on that, just to have as kind of a fun neutral, and you guys will find out what this is gonna be later. And then I had a very specific fabric that I need. I'm so excited about this one too. This is a quilted cotton coating, I guess. So it's got the wadding that's like in between it, but it is this rusty color on this side and chocolate brown on the other. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? I can't wait to show you what this is gonna be, but I can't tell you about that now. So So answering my question, yes, there were a couple of projects that I needed specific fabric for, so I got these at the 20% off, which was great. So I was able to find exactly what I needed. So those were those 2 pieces that I grabbed from the sale. This is like oh, no, 3. Sorry, forgot about this one. I also have a project, I've got a tower of fabric here, tipping over, where I'm gonna need, I needed a waffle knit, like a toweling waffle knit, and so I did grab this in my green, and you're gonna find out a lot more about this, why I chose green, yeah, a lot more. So I grabbed this as well, and how much did I grab of this? Oh, 3 meters. This is gonna be lovely. This is so beautiful. It's non-stretch. It's kind of like a fancy bath towel, kind of. Anyway, I'm excited to tell you about that. Yeah, and those actually, yeah, all kind of, yeah, I'll tell you more about those later. I don't want to give anything away. So after that, then my next question was to ask my children, is there anything that you guys need for the upcoming months that you might need fabric for? And immediately my daughter's like, oh yeah, I want blah, blah, blah. And I've got fabric, and I've got plenty of fabric for her, and I was able to pinpoint, because I have my fabric organized, that I've got all that stuff for her. But my son mentioned that he needed another pair of nice pants. I made him a pair of corduroy pants last fall, I guess, because he wore them to, they were like his nice pants. He wore them to Thanksgiving, to Christmas, stuff that we had going on. We had a funeral that he wore. I mean, he has worn those a ton, and they still fit fine, but he wanted something a little less heavy because they're a corduroy pant, a navy corduroy pant. So I grabbed him, and I'm gonna make the same pattern for him, but some stretch cotton twill from Minerva in just this khaki colorway. And it's got stretch because he likes to have some stretch, because he likes to be able to, you know, break into a soccer move at a moment's notice. I don't know, but he likes the stretch, so I got him some of that. Okay, so that was kind of, you know, going through, is there anything not in my stash that you guys might want? So that is what I did first. Then I went through my basics checklist. So I have highlighted things here. The things in teal I already have in my closet. The things in orange are stuff that I wanted to add, which it looks like kind of a lot, but really not a lot of it. It's not a ton. So I was really looking at things, cold weather items that I want to add to my wardrobe that I would want to make now. And I also went through, and for instance, I was like, okay, I need a good camel colored tank for a woven tank, just for layering purposes and that sort of thing. I have some beautiful silks that are here in my stash, so didn't need anything for that. So I was just kind of going through and looking at what I had in my stash and what might work. And because my stash is organized, I was able to easily do that. And then I pinpointed things that I still want to make that are on this list. And I don't have to make them all in the fall. It's just stuff that I want fabric for, so that when I do get a minute, I can make up some stuff. So that is what the rest of this is. So 2 of the things that were on my list are fitted turtlenecks, just to wear layered under things. I just made my cashmerette Hollyoak dress, and I really want to wear it in the fall. I have it paired with my Metro blazer in some of the pictures I showed you guys, but I also like the idea of wearing it 90s style, layered over some stuff. And a cream colored turtleneck I think would be perfect. I also wanted some, like a bright pop of color, so like my warm red-ish color. Again, that can go anywhere from brick red to like fire bright, you know, warm red to like a tomato red to even like a burnt orange. So, or like a bright orange. So I grabbed, this is a cotton spandex blend, a pointelle jersey, and it is so pretty. Now, I think it's gonna be fine because it's got holes in it because it's a pointelle jersey, but I think it'll be fine because it's a fitted turtleneck and I'm gonna be wearing it under stuff, whether that's like under a jacket or under a dress. I doubt I wear it as is very much, but maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe with nude underwear too, it'll be fine. But I grabbed it in the ivory colorway, the cream colorway, and then also the, oh, what was this color called? Ugh, I can't remember what this color was called, but it's this orange color, which is also in my color palette. And I get a lot of questions on how do you make sure that you're buying the color that you think you're buying, which can definitely be tricky. Especially with reds, because cool reds are not my friend. Warm reds are, but I need to quit throwing this on the ground. As you can see, I do have some darker reds that are in my color palette, but then it goes warm and then there's my orange and all that kind of thing up here. But I don't want like a real cool, almost pinky red. That's not good on me. So reds can be tricky, and sometimes I am just hoping for the best. I tend to pick things that are called like fiery red or tomato red, or you know, if it's got like an indicator. Sometimes if it's just red, it works, but sometimes that can be a cool red too, so I'll be a little more cautious with that. However, what I do love about Minerva is that they now have their core range, which is fabrics that they just always have in stock. And once I have found, like for instance with my cotton spandex jersey, I know that the soft red that's in that color is like the perfect shade of red for me. It's just like a warm red, and it's a great color for me. So some of that's trial and error. Also with the core range, I think you can get samples from Minerva, so maybe even asking for some samples of things that you know aren't going to sell out because it's in their core range. That's another idea, just to make sure you're getting a color that you actually really want. So I got these two jerseys for fitted turtlenecks, and my fitted turtleneck pattern that I'm really loving is the Itch to Stitch Hepburn turtleneck. So I think those will probably both be those. I'm not in any rush to make these, but these will just be over there, and I can make those when I get around to it. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to grab, trying to think here. Oh, I wanted so woven tees, and these are for layering purposes. And my TNT, that's the other thing, this basic checklist, also features an area where you've got your tried and true patterns. So you can, you know, change those up as you want, but I've just listed all the patterns that I have found for those categories. That's another beautiful thing about sewing. And then you can hack them and make them into your own. But my woven tee pattern that I'm using is the Cashmerette Montrose, and I just made a couple of them actually, but I wanted a good solid one, and this is my dark blue. So as you can see, it's not really navy, it's more of just a dark blue. But this was a viscose crepe, I believe. And it's a thinner weight. The other thing I love about Minerva is a lot of times with the fabrics, you can scroll down and see what other people have made with them. So if you're like, oh, everyone's making bottoms with that, it's probably gonna be too heavy for what I wanted. Or vice versa, oh, everyone's making tops with that, maybe I don't wanna make bottoms with that, that sort of thing. Because you can see it's pretty thin. You can kind of see me through it, but for a blouse, this is gonna be perfect. So this is gonna be a Montrose. And I'm trying to decide if I wanna do a statement sleeve on it. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe not. Maybe I wanna keep this very simple so that it can be worn, you know, with everything. Because I thought about putting those Alton sleeves on there, but that might be better for like a statement piece. And I've got 2 meters of this, so I have plenty to make myself basically whatever blouse, whatever variation of the Montrose I want to do. All this needs to be washed. So I grabbed some good viscose for that. Okay, on viscose, I also knew that I wanted a good, under my skirts, I wanted a good camel flare skirt. I'm also going to make myself, again, I got a lot of other stuff on here that I'm going to be making that I already have fabric for, but I'm going to be using the Upton skirt, because all of the Upton skirts, including the Gilmore skirt, which is part of the, which is the circle skirt, part of the club patterns, can all be made as skirts, or they can be attached to the bodice to be a dress, and I just love those. And I grabbed this, I think it's a viscose suiting weight, and I grabbed 3 meters of it because I want a circle skirt. Oh, look at this color though. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm gonna be making myself just a circle skirt out of this that hopefully I can just get a ton of wear out of it. It's viscose, so it'll have a beautiful drape and a beautiful swish. I can picture this with sandals in the warmer months, as well as tall boots and tights in the colder months. So this is gonna really go the distance. And I grabbed 3 meters because circle skirts, and I want a midi length circle skirt. Can kind of be fabric hungry, but there's a good chance I might be able to get a little something else out of this too. like maybe a looser pant. I don't know, we'll see. But I grabbed that. And then, oops, didn't mean to put that in there. Then I grabbed a whole bunch of Ponte. This is a rayon, oh, what is this? A rayon nylon spandex. I think there may be a little polyester in this, but it was a low polyester count, which I'm fine with. And this is my darker kind of brick red, but it's still very much on my color card. It's that color kind of right there. And I grabbed 5 meters of this because I'm gonna be making myself a dress. And I think I'm gonna make myself another Wanderlust dress because that's, I had here on my list, so that would be something good. And it is my, I wanted like a t-shirt dress, and the Wanderlust is, is my t-shirt dress that I really want. Or the Love Notions title works well too, but I want another Wanderlust, and I want one with 3/4 length sleeves, scoop, just a very simple, solid dress that I can wear fun jackets with, you know, fun shoes with it, accessories. I just feel like I get a lot of use out of it, and a nice Ponte would be nice in the colder months, you know, wear tights, high boots, but it's not gonna be super hot because there's a lot of rayon in this blend. And, oh, that was the dog. And I also grabbed enough to make myself another Metro blazer. So I have my cream colored Metro blazer, which is great for, the spring. I've been wearing it this summer a ton, and I'll probably wear it in the fall because it's cream. It's a beautiful winter white, and in the winter. But I wanted something that was a little like a fun pop of color, and this red is my signature color. So I decided to go for a fun, bright knit cardigan or knit blazer to making another Metro. I'm gonna make it just the same as that cream one, just in the red. So 5 meters of that, and I'll probably have some left over, but that's fine. If I want to make myself a couple of knit skirts maybe, or a knit skirt, I mean, there's kind of a lot that I can do here. I already have a circle skirt and a red sweater knit that I made last year that will work great, but if I wanted to do a pencil skirt or something, or like a faux wrap skirt, you know, do one of the Sybil skirts, I could definitely do that. So 5 meters of that. So that was my haul from the Minerva sale. Not too bad. And actually, when I was going through my list and then looking at stuff in my stash, I'm like, okay, I actually have a lot in my stash that is gonna work for. So I'm not rebuying things. I'm only buying things that were missing in my fabric stash so that I can then make the closet of my dreams. And then all of these are great basic pieces that I can then add a fun trendy pair of pants, or a jacket, a fun and neat jacket, or whatever, fun accessories to really change the look of it, but it's things that can go multiple seasons. And then when I'm putting together my cohesive little seasonal wardrobe, I'm just pulling things from my basics and then adding a few extras depending on, the colors I'm feeling for that season or whatever, to really make do. In fact, I'm looking at, I think for fall, I have a lot of like that rusty, camel, but that goes a little more rusty colors that I'm gonna kind of be using, and kind of some peaches even, which I'll just be pulling some of my basics that are in more of my camel and cream, and probably, maybe a little bit of the blue, but it'll probably be most of my pieces that are more in the camel and cream family for fall. And then when winter gets here, maybe I'm feeling like adding more color, who knows. So that is kind of how I go about fabric shopping and keeping things very economical without like completely losing my head. Now, another thing you can also utilize, if you have just a handful of stores that you just really like, the quality is good, I highly recommend that. Not that you can't shop other places occasionally as well, but having like your core, 3 or 4 shops that you just know that you love, the quality is always, top notch. That's a great thing to have. I definitely have my little list of core shops that I look at, and that I know that I'm gonna be able to find really quality things, which for me, it is Minerva, Style Maker Fabrics, Blackbird Fabrics. I mean, those are probably the 3 top that I look for basic stuff. And then there's a few others that I like to shop around for, fun things, or I love Surge Fabrics for my activewear, and Fabric Fairy is great for activewear. But, so I've got some other shops that I'll look for specific things, but for the most part, those are like my shops that I know are gonna have some really great basics and good core basics. So that's also important to have that. So then you're watching for their sales and that kind of stuff. And then you know the quality is going to be really well as well. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about really quickly, because this is also a question that I get asked a ton, is how do you know how much to buy? I get that question all the time. And I just have kind of a set amount that I will buy, because I'll kind of know, roughly, you know, I want this fabric to be a dress, or I want it to be a coat or pair of pants or whatever. So I have a set amount that I buy, depending on that garment that I kind of think that it's going to be. Although the plus of having your basics checklist and having your TNT patterns, which are tried and true. TNT stands for tried and true. So these are patterns that you've gotten to fit you really well, that you know you love, and you know, they always work out well. So if you've got a list of those, then you're gonna have like specific, you know exactly, like I need, you know, 2.8 meters or 2.5 yards or whatever of fabric to make that top or whatever. You'll have actual specific measurements. But if it's just for general ideas, I do have a general amount that I like to buy. And I've created for you guys a little, like a business card sized printable that you can print off. You can have it laminated or whatever, stick it in your wallet, stick it in your purse when you're fabric shopping. And I'm gonna list all of those just as a general guideline of yardages that you need. I'm also going to include a free printable if you want to go in and, you know, manually, you can handwrite, you know, if you know actual measurements, again, if you have your TNT and so you know, okay, my pant pattern, I actually need 3.2 meters of fabric or whatever, you know, the thing happens to be. So I'm going to have a printable for you guys, and that is going to be free to my newsletter subscribers. And that'll be coming out on Friday. So you're watching this on Tuesday, so on actually Thursday night. Thursday night, the newsletter subscribers will, number one, have early access to Friday's video, and number two, will also get that free printable. So this will be a, I mean, I may do it again in the future for this kind of thing, but for the most part, you just need to be signed up before Thursday this week, which is gonna be the, let's see, 11th of August. You want to be signed up by Thursday the 11th, early on Thursday, because I'll send that out Thursday evening, and then once it's gone out, I can't send that out again unless I start a whole nother campaign, email campaign. So definitely get on that newsletter if you haven't already, because that will be what's coming out with Friday's newsletter, in addition to early access to Friday's video. So yes, you definitely want to go down, register for the newsletter, and when you do that, you get your wardrobe basics checklist as well when you sign up for the newsletter. So that'll come to you right away. And then the printable will be coming out Thursday evening sometime into Friday morning, depending on where you live. Okay guys, that's all I have for today. I hope this was a helpful video, kind of gave you some ideas of how to be a little bit more economical, especially when shopping sales, because I know that the frenzied reaction is a real thing. Like, if you feel seen right now, it's only because this is, I'm speaking from personal experience and personal struggle. So you're not alone. And yes, we've got a whole month in September. We're going to be, you know, how to find fabrics economically. We'll be doing some Destashify stuff and just a whole bunch of really good stuff in September. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on the channel if you haven't already, so that you don't miss any of that fun and exciting footage that's going to be coming out also in August, but definitely in September as well. I think that's all I've got for today, guys. Friday, I'm not really sure yet. I have a couple of options for Friday's video, so stay tuned. I have a lot of makes to share with you guys. I have a lot of stuff to share with you guys of makes as we're winding down summer and getting ready to start fall, both stuff for myself and for my daughter. So you definitely want to make sure that you have hit that subscribe button. Okay, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday, and I will see you guys again on Friday. Bye.